Hello, you are most welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to your power behind the voice on Tuesday Night Anatomy with Daniel Okon. Yes, we are still in the era of anatomy of clinical importance. And my friends, this is today's case study. A 70-year-old woman presents with a progressive painful swelling, on the anterolateral aspect of her neck. Imaging studies using CT scan and MRI revealed a tumor growing in the carotid sheath, compressing its content and adjacent structures in the deeper aspect of the neck. Now, my friends, this is the case study we have before us. Now, the first question is, what is this carotid sheath? Now, my friends, whenever we talk about the carotid sheath, it is a fibrous, tunnel or sheath, which begins all the way from the base of the skull till what we call the, thoracic inlet. Yes, clinically we call it thoracic outlet. Let me call the root of the neck. Okay, so that is, what we have. Yes, it's located in the anterolateral aspect of the neck. And my friends, is deeply placed, and that is why this tunnel could be, of course, the site for spread of infections, from the neck, for instance, to what we call the mediastinum. So that is, one thing that you need to understand. Now, by way of the structures that are contributing to this carotid sheath, we have what we call the primary modifications of the deep cervical fascia. And my friends, whenever we talk about the primary modifications of the deep cervical fascia, there are three essentially. We are talking about the investing layer of the deep cervical fascia. We are talking about the pretracheal layer of the deep cervical fascia, and of course, the prevertebral layer of the deep cervical fascia. These three guys, all contribute to the formation of the carotid sheath. And therefore, essentially, the carotid sheath is a modification of the deep cervical fascia. Now, the next question for us is that, yes, this case study told us that the contents, yes, together with adjacent structures were compressed. Now, what are the contents of this, deep, what do you call carotid sheath? Now, the first thing is going to be what we call the common carotid artery. Yeah, the name is carotid sheath, and that is why, yes, one of the main contents is going to be the common carotid artery. Yeah, it doesn't end there. The common carotid artery bifurcates, to give us what we call the external carotid artery, and of course the internal carotid artery. Now, we are interested in the external carotid artery because external carotid artery, yes, goes out of the sheath, so it's not a content of the sheath, but internal carotid artery, which is, of course, the cranial continuation of the common carotid artery, becomes a content of the carotid sheath. Yes, that is why the pulse of the carotid artery, yes, could be, yes, appreciated. Yes, especially over here, you can feel, the pulse of what we call the carotid, artery. So external carotid artery is not a content, but common carotid artery and of course internal carotid artery are content of the carotid sheath. Yeah, it doesn't end there. Now, these guys are medially located. Yes, common carotid and of course the internal carotid artery will be medial. And of course, toward the lateral aspect, we have what we call the internal jugular vein. Internal jugular vein. And of course, sandwiched in between them, yes, a bit posteriorly, we have what we call the vagus nerve, the 10th cranial nerve. These are the usual contents of the carotid sheath. Now, the next thing is that now sometimes, yes, if for instance, for whatever reason, if the tumor compresses the nerve, then of course some kind of hoarseness of voice, issues with the vocal cords and all that, yes, may be some kind of manifestation as far as tumor growing in, of course, the carotid sheath is concerned. If for any reason it's compressing the artery, common carotid artery, so much, then of course, branches to, of course, blood to internal carotid artery, which will be going into the cranial cavity, and of course external carotid artery supplying the face will be impaired. Okay, so these are some of the things we need to, of course, understand. And then, of course, venous drainage in, of course, the head and neck region could also be impaired. Okay, so that is one thing that we need to understand. But one thing is that there are some important relations, yes, especially we talk about the anterior and posterior relations, which are adjacent structures which could be compressed in this kind of situation. And so what we say is that posteriorly we have a chain which we call a sympathetic chain. Yes, I mean relating to, of course, this carotid sheath. And then of course anteriorly we have what we call the ansa cervicalis. Yes, we understand that the ansa cervicalis having two limbs, descending cervicalis, of course descending hypoglossi. I mean these guys are essentially going to supply what we call the strap muscles, okay, of course the infrahyoid muscles. And so whenever, I mean, these areas too are compressed, okay, sympathetic stimulation, of course, will be impaired. And of course, supply to, of course, all these infrahyoid muscles, okay, will be, I mean, impaired. So these are some of the things, okay, which we need to understand. You know, as far as a tumor, yes, or any kind of swelling, okay, whether it is benign or malignant, okay, taking place in the carotid sheath is concerned. My friends, I believe you find this meeting of mine very helpful. Yes, and share with friends. I mean, those who need them. I mean, need these videos to watch. I'm very grateful for your time this evening. Have a good night, all of you, and may the good Lord richly bless you. Amen.